Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is round 2 of my Modern League with Sultai Snow mid-range in Modern. I lost the die roll again, and I have a solid opener. I guess depending on what my opponent's playing, thought scouring them is not unplayable. But I would much rather try and find a copy of Euro. And see how that works. If my opponent plays a creature on turn 1, I'll just shock myself from Overgrown Tomb and kill it with Fatal Push. If not, then I think I'm gonna play the Misty and pass. But I'm not really sure. Let's see what my opponent's playing. My opponent's on a mulligan to 6. And we're off to the races. Once upon a time. So I'm guessing Eldrazi Tron, but let's see here. Breeding Pool. So some kind of Titan deck, maybe? Grazer? No, Noble. Okay. Infect is a good bet here. We should be in fine shape with this hand. Especially now. I'm just going to kill this one on the spot. I don't want my opponent to play something like Blighted Agent and have mana up for protecting it. Things can probably get awkward. I don't know. And that second Fatal Push was really good if they're Infect. So now I have double removal in hand plus Snapcaster, so essentially triple removal spell. But let's see, it could be a few other decks, I guess. Okay, we're up against Infect. Now I'm just gonna play out a... wow. Just gonna play out the Misty Rainforest. I do have to keep in mind that I want to fetch a basic at some point, because I have 4 Arkham's Asteroid in my deck, and I can only cast them if I have basics in play. I really doubt they want to get in there. Okay. So what I like to do in a spot like this is just take the 1 damage and then kind of react on end step. So I'm going to take a single poison counter. Then I'm going to kill it with Fatal Push. My opponent's going to try and protect it. I wonder if I care about that. I think I do. Yeah, so I'm not gonna get any basic this time around, but I am gonna get my opponent's Infect creature off the table. It's pretty nuts that I've drawn 3 Fatal Pushes, and they're just the best card in the matchup. Yeah, this is very dumb. I wouldn't be surprised if I got a message from my opponent here. Not this time. Okay. My opponent okay, that's a good draw. I think what I want to be doing here is shock myself, pass, and then the world is my oyster here. I can counter an Infect creature. I guess I'll just Snapcaster push the Noble. Seems fine. And a Glistener Elf. So I guess I just Snapcaster push the Elf. And then I'll keep back the Snapcaster to block the Noble. And yeah, this is strong. I do have to keep in mind that Noble almost has Infect right now. Thanks to my low life total. But I should be fine. It's even possible this deck wants a second breeding pool alongside the second water grave. I didn't put too much thought into this deck, anything, but I just wanted to try and play Euro in a fair deck. Snapcaster, Fatal Push. So that's my 4th removal spell in 4 turns. It's not very nice of me. That's for sure. So now I'm gonna kill the elf on tap and then most likely just pass the turn again. I'll keep back the Snapcaster. I'll just wait around for either Uro or Tarmogoyf. I'm not gonna rush things with the Snapcaster. Another infect creature bites the dust. Flood is Drained is a good draw. It makes it so that I can counter and deploy a snake this turn. I don't want to trade 2 damage for 1 damage as it stands. I'm gonna wait patiently. Let's see. My opponent's not the fastest. If they're too slow, I'll just not use the video. It's not very enjoyable to watch if they're super slow. Noble's getting in there, and as I talked about before, I'm gonna block here. Noble's a 1/2. They need to spend a a pump spell to get rid of the Snapcaster. So let's see here. Do I just kill it with Drown in the Lock? I could do that. Let's see. I'll just try and kill it. If it dies, I still have my Snapcaster around. If they have some kind of protection spell, it's all good, right? They're down to 1 card. My Snapcaster's dead. Maybe I should have responded. Because if I found Force Negation, maybe I would have fired off. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure about that. So yeah, now the Snapcaster is dead. I'm gonna flash in a Codal. And I'm still sitting at a healthy 13 life and only 1 poison. They need a lot of good draws from here, and I need a lot of bad draws from here for this game to be in jeopardy. But it is possible, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is still possible. Gonna just fetch an island, jam Codal. Uro's not bad. The life gain is even relevant against their Noble Hierarch. It's not very relevant against Infect dudes, but it is against Noble. Snapcaster hits the bin. Another Uro. That wasn't very good. Let's cast that. I go up to 15. And the next turn, yeah, I'm gonna put that into play. Sounds fine. Gonna Thought Scour right away because I have a few cards I can jam. Okay, that's actually not a bad draw. Let's see. My creature doesn't have Death Touch at the moment, so I'm just gonna crack in for a single point of damage. The next turn I'm gonna escape Uro, and winning the game from there should be relatively easy. That being said, stuff like Blighted Agent can be good right now. But I still have the Force Negation to counter a big pump spell like Scale Up or Become Immense. But yeah, I would guess I'm like a 95% favorite to win this game. So let's hope the last 5% don't come into play. So let's just have a look at our sideboard options against that deck. Yeah, and there's the concession. So I actually don't have a lot aside from the 2 Dead of Winter. Let's see what my worst cards are in the deck right now. I guess it's Force Negation, even though they can be kind of clutch. They're not really what I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to go -2 Force Negations, +2 Sweepers. The Sweeper is not the best. I would have loved to have Plague Engineer instead, but I really wanted to try the one-sided Sweeper of Dead of Winter. So let's see here. Our deck is now some clunky 4-drops, some do-nothing cantrips, then it's Euro, which actually isn't the best. I think I want at least 1 Force Negation instead. The Charm can be kind of cool. I can take control over a Noble or Glistener Elf. That's kind of cool. Then I have the good ones here, because bunch of cheap creatures, bunch of cheap removal spells. Then I have some medium cards and some clunky or do-nothing cantrips. So I'm not even sure the matchup is that good. I just drew 3 Fatal Pushes, so that was good. Maybe I'm supposed to board out all Uros in this matchup and have all the forces. I'm gonna try this out. The forces aren't amazing. These cards over here, those are the good ones. Like Cryptic and Jace can be fine, but 4 mana is a lot against Infect. Let's see what my opponent can do this game. Last game I just had them covered with all the Fatal Pushes. If my hand has a Fatal Push, I like it a lot. That card is just insurance that I don't just die out of nowhere. And if I make sure to play it on their turn, then the Force of Negations can kind of help that strategy. Yeah, 7 spells, not close, easy mulligan. I'm gonna keep this in bottom, Force of Negation. And then I'm gonna hope that the Codals match up well against what my opponent's doing. That means no Blighted Agent. Inkmoth is fine. Glistener Elf is fine. So here we go. Once Upon a Time really helped, in fact, have turn 1 Noble or turn 1 Glistener Elf. I wonder if you're supposed to do this if you don't have a turn 1 play, like bank on Once Upon a Time finding your a 1-drop and after shocking yourself. I thought about that before, I just didn't reach any conclusion. Okay, so they find a blighted agent, which is very bad news. That's very, very bad news. Because now they get to play a blighted agent, maybe even with protection. Oh yeah, they have the... I love this draw from Infect, where you have the turn 1 Noble as kind of your lightning rod. And then on the second turn, you effectively deploy 2 Infect creatures. I hate that hand. I hate to play against that hand, but it is kind of sweet. This is bad. This is bad. Pendlehaven is a good one. Because of the Exalted, you want to be boosting before combat. And I take 3 poison. Yeah, it's not funny. So I wonder why my opponent keeps up all that mana. Cryptic is good. Astrolabe, huh. Let's deploy Arkham's Astrolabe. I'm gonna stay with the Codal. Now I feel like I'm dead. If they pump with Pendlehaven, then all they need is a +4 to threaten lethal. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it before, I actually don't remember, but I thought about Mystical Dispute. The thing is, they probably only have 4 Blighted Agent as targets. And I'm not sure it's worth it. Maybe it's better than 1 Force of Negation. I think I'll try that. Maybe it's even better than both, because pitching to Force of Negation is not very strong. Vines. You got it. So now they are 1 poison short. They can attack for 6 right now. Maybe they messed up with the Pendlehaven. Yeah. So I will fetch and a turn for, let's see here, Watergrave. Is that good? That should be fine. Yeah. That sucks. I should have flashed in this snake there. That was my bad. I wonder what I should use to Cryptic. Maybe bounce? Yeah, I made it. That was a mistake. I should have had another snake in play and drawn 1 card deeper in my deck. That was kind of horrible. Once upon a time, you got it. Noble Hierarch doesn't do anything. It's fine. I really want to draw into the dead of winter. My plan now is Cryptic Command. I could tap and dodge cards like Blossoming Defense and Vines. Or I could bounce and force them to spend 2 mana. I think what I want to be doing here is, because I have the Ice Fang, I guess I can tap. Yeah, I'll tap and draw. I'll tap and draw. That resolves. No attack with Ink Moth. Yeah, I wish I was one card deeper right now. Another Ink Moth. Thought Scour. Okay. Really need something like Fatal Push right now. Fatal Push. That was no Fatal Push. I'm gonna pass here. I need to get super lucky to win this game. I need to have a Fatal Push exactly on top of my deck. And I'm one turn too late for something like Sanctuary. Okay, so my opponent's getting in there with the boys. I'm gonna fetch an island. Cast Snake. I need a Fatal Push right now. And if I get the Fatal Push, I can block the 2 Ink Moths and kill the Blighted Agent. I didn't get it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, definitely made a mistake. I could have gotten one card deeper, or had 2 extra mana this turn. I'm not sure it mattered a lot, but I still felt like I played badly. Yeah, that was actually a great game. They made a misstep of not pumping with Pendelhaven before the Vines. That would have won them the game a few turns ago. Let's see, Thoughtscar mill those 2 over, drawn to Dead of Winter. Yeah, that was a great game. Do you know what? Let's have these disputes in. I'm gonna get rid of a Jace and a Force. Yeah, let's try again. I didn't find any pushes or drowns or trophies or Dead of Winter. That's a lot of removal. I think I would keep that hand again in a high heartbeat, so it is what it is. Very interesting hand, right? I think what I want to be doing here is one of 2 things. It's either get the Breeding Pool right away and start casting Snake, or it's waiting with the Misty. It's tough. I'm leaning towards getting the Breeding Pool right away. I really want to get Islands into play because that Archmage's Charm can start doing stuff. I don't mind taking a Noble. Okay, passing here. That's very good news for me. Breeding Pool, okay. That's the perfect draw. Then my Misty Rainforest can get Watery Grave, and I can cast my spells, even though 3 mana is kind of a lot. So I can only cast 1 spell a turn. I think it's still gonna be good. Another Dead of Winter, okay. I think what I want to be doing is deploy Island, get in for 1, and then counter the Infect creature. Inkmoth is good for sure. Another Noble. Noble's fine. I wonder if I take the Noble. Having more mana would be kind of sick. Guess I could take the Glistener Elf as well. The thing is right now, does my opponent play Spell Pierce? Because Dead of Winter is looking pretty good. I mean, that card resolves no matter what. The question is what I do with the Archmage's Charm end of turn. It could be just draw 2. Because I do have the Snake to fall back on. It's kind of sad that it doesn't have Death Touch. I need one more Snow Permanent, but I can't get it with Misty. If it was a Polluted Delta, I could get Snow-Covered Swamp. The thing is, if I can lure out... Can I lure out a pump spell with this card? I think so. So what I'm going to do here is try and take the Elf. I have no idea what my opponent... how my opponent feels about that. They don't like it, it seems. Veil of Summer. That's a sick one. So now they don't have any green mana open. I draw Overgrown Tomb. Okay. So let's Dead of Winter. The 3 creatures are gone. Four cards. Animate, boom, boom, yeah. So I'm gonna stay back here and play it kind of safe. I don't think the 1 damage is worth it. The Veil of Summer was very good. That makes me reluctant to fire off another charm. Targeting creatures. My hand is kinda... I can only play 1 spell each turn. And that's kind of bad. I really need to draw something like Fatal Push, like even just a 2-mana card like Trophy, like Goyf, like Drown in the Loch. I have no idea what my opponent's doing here. Okay, like that. Got it. Then it doesn't matter that they tap the Pendelhaven. Scale up. Yeah. I don't really mind taking 7. Let's see here, taking 7. Yeah. It's tough because if they have any sort of protection, I'm kind of doomed. Wow, what a draw. What a draw. So let's see here. Distortion Strike comes back. They animate, they get an unblockable. Sure, so I might as well. Might as well get in there. So now what I expect to happen is animate the Ink Moth as a response to the rebound trigger, then pump with Pendelhaven. Yes, you got it. Distortion Strike. If that happens, I really don't mind going to 9 Infect. I think they made a slight misplay there again. Because now they need to invest another pump spell. Yeah, I think they messed up there. They messed up. That blossoming defense should have been in hand. So the question is, what if I take it? Does that even work how I want it to? I actually forgot what happens if you take a mana land. I think I just keep it, but I don't really want to risk it, so I'm just gonna counter here. I think I get to keep it, but I'm not really sure. It's kind of silly, actually, that I don't know that. Regardless, this game should be locked up, because now on end step I get to fetch Sanctuary, put Archmage's Charm on top, and that should just seal up the game. I even have Snapcaster Charm in hand. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. But I feel like my opponent misplayed there, because if they pump with Pendlehaven, then attack, then I have to push, then they blossoming defense, then I charm, then they have the vines. Yeah, I was dead that game. I was even dead game 1 if they played it right. It's kind of scary. But I guess that's what Magic is about, right? Rewarding good decisions, punishing bad decisions. It has a lot to say, to be honest. So now I'm in a beautiful spot where whatever they draw, I'm gonna Snapcaster Charm it to get in play with the Snapcaster and start beating down for 3. And then I even have the Charm in the backhand. Yeah. My opponent entering desperation mode, I guess you can call it. This game should be mine. I guess some draws involving... No, Inkmoth Nexus is not going to cut it against the Codal. Even though it doesn't have Death Touch, actually. My opponent's passing the turn. Then I'm going to Snapcaster Charm. Let me draw a couple of cards. Or I guess get Spell Pierced, I don't mind. I get a 2-1 into play and I trade. And I trade 1 for 1, that's fine. So now I attack my opponent down to 7. Still have the hard counter, even the sweeper if something crazy goes wrong. Think I'll look for something like Astrolabe right now with Thought Scour. But I'm not going to tap down from 3 mana. I milled over Astrolabe and Fatal Push. That doesn't really matter right now. My opponent does have 2 cards to work with, so theoretically those could be Blighted Agent, Vine, no, not Vines, what's it called? Veil of Summer. Then they get to cantrip there, then I untap and have the Dead of Winter. And then from there we could have a game. But it's getting very, very theoretical. I'm gonna hang on to the charm. My opponent even knows about it. I'm gonna get in there for 3. Pass with charm plus force of negation up. Bladed Agent. That's a big nope. Counter target spell. Then I can hit my opponent down to 1 on my turn. And I even get a sweet message from my opponent. Even though it's super rude and they're just a sore loser, they do have a point, because I have to sideboard heavily to even have like a shot against those decks. I have 2 strokes, I have 3 Ashocks, I have 3 Damping Spheres. That's a lot of cards to improve the matchup, and I even have counters and discards. So I think over the course of a 3-game match, I do have game against those decks. But yeah, so I guess a lesson to be learned is take a win, take a loss with a smile, and see if you learned anything from the match, rather than I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Belittling or trying to teach your opponent in the chat. Like, I don't think this guy will sleep better at night after firing off that message. But I do think Magic needs just more positivity overall. But that's a talk for another day. Alright, guys, we're currently 2-0 with this sweet brew. Thank you for joining me so far, and I hope to see you for the next round.